want to point out to you, you saw the logo there at the end for Mad Men. That is an amazing distribution company in Australia, and they have gotten so many films out of Midnight Madness, and they have incredible stuff, and I'm so glad that we have got to get their logo on the screen. But I would like to reintroduce to you guys the director of our Dark Horse, The Loved Ones, Sean Byrne.
And thanks guys, you guys, what a great audience, you rock. I'd like to introduce to the stage our wonderful cast. Xavier Samuel. Jessica McNamee. Victoria Thane. And the best looking of them all, producer Mark Lazarus.
The first question is going to be, where's Lola?
Lola's dead. No, Lola's on stage at the moment. She's doing A Streetcar Named Desire with Kate Blanchett. But she did email me about a little story that during a rehearsal, a radio has to be basically thrown out the window, and the actor that was throwing the radio, it accidentally slipped. It hit Kate in the head. There was a little bit of blood. When she was getting first aid, Robin said all she could do was just stand there and watch the blood pouring out and think, oh my God, that's just so beautiful. And she said, thanks very much, Sean, you've turned me into a sicko. But I'm glad there's Lola's still alive and well, obviously.
So, I mean, you brought us the great line, it boils your brain. Okay, so just tell us about how you came to come up with the idea for this. Like, I mean, you're obviously a fan of horror films, and where did you come for the idea of this sick little prom date?
Well, I was looking for something that didn't have too many locations, and I just had this idea. Of what if you sort of fused the Evil Dead and Carrie, and took kind of the prom, the rituals of the prom, the dancing and the mirror ball and the crowning of the king and queen, and turn that into the instrument of horror. And so bring the prom to the cabin, or in our case, the farmhouse, and that was kind of the germ of the idea. But in terms of drilling into somebody's head and pouring in boiling water, Jeffrey Dahmer actually got there first. So.
This role was unbelievable. I mean, what you brought to that. I mean, when we first met tonight, I couldn't believe that you were what I saw on screen. I just want to congratulate you on that. So when you saw the script, what attracted you to it?
That's a good question. I kind of flicked through it, looking for the bits of dialogue. And it was just kind of scream. So look, it's great to read a horror film that has a degree of complexity and a bit of comedy in there as well. So yeah.
And Jessica, your role of kind of the stoner goth queen. What can you tell us about? Are you all fans of horror films, or what attracted you to the project?
Is this a question for me or you?
Yes.
I mean, look, I'm not the biggest lover of horror films. In fact,
I saw you
sat
cringing
through
a little there.
like this. It was a great script, and for me in particular, I just thought it was a really interesting character, and it was a lot of fun to play. So, I mean, reading through the script, and I just thought all the characters were great. I think the great thing about this film, a lot of horror films can be purely just based on the gory stuff, I guess, but this is really character-driven, and the characters are really strong throughout the film. So it kind of has a real soul, I think, as well, and that's definitely, you know, what attracted me to the film.
Okay, you have to excuse me because I sound like Xavier did for most of the film. I've been enjoying your festival far too much. Sean did a short film called Advantage, which was at Sundance in 2008. And so when I read the script, I'm not a fan of horror, and I was kind of like, oh, this could be a piece of shit. Like, I don't know, something terrible. But then I saw Sean's short film, and he has an incredible visual style and a great sense for the pacing that this kind of film needs. And so that's why I wanted to do it. Plus, I wanted to kick someone in the head, a girl in particular. But I love that the female characters are like three really strong female characters, and there's like Sean's visual style kind of comes across in the female characters. I'm kind of like all pastel colours and really nice. Jessica's just kind of all dark and goth. And then you've got Lola, who's hot pink and just seriously fucked up. That's all I have to say.
You produced, you added to the kind of the pantheon of Australian dirty horror films.
Oh yeah.
What was the biggest challenge in mounting this production?
Other than dealing with Sean Byrne's vision, no, that wasn't that at all. Look, getting any film up is hard. It's like rolling a boulder uphill, and you know, trying to do everything he wanted to do to try to make his vision come to fruition with not a lot of resources. And I think there was a moment where we were talking one day and we realized that the last third of this movie is not a horror movie in a sense; it's an action movie. So we were trying to do Jerry Bruckheimer, you know, with a fraction of the budget. And I think, you know, and you just have to be really, really careful. And I have to say, you've never seen anyone prepare like Sean does. I mean, absolutely, completely dedicated to getting the shots and reimagining and visualizing it all. And that makes my job easy once we're out there.
Okay. So I'd like to open it up to the floor here now. Let's see. Yes, in the front row, sir.
Xavier, I was going to ask what was your most challenging scene, but considering that the whole movie was probably a big challenge. But I'm going to ask it anyway.
So what was your most challenging scene?
I think, well, the most horrific scene for me was climbing the rock face. Because it was my birthday the day we shot that, and I was convinced that I was going to die. I think I've got to, someone sent me a crucifix or something. I've got to arrive, and I was like, oh my god. And I'm kind of looking at this tiny little bracket that's holding me between certain death. So that was kind of, and also kind of not having a lot to say and kind of working on this inner dialogue. So, a challenge.
Can I just say the most horrific scene for me was having to go down on Xavier in a really tiny beater. It's not easy, and I got a lot of bruises.
You don't get answers like that at the Odeon, do you?